Welcome to Wayne's World Garage. Hopefully you can hear me and the wind's not blowing too much. It's cold out here. It's 59 degrees this morning. Last week it was 95, 2 weeks ago it was 95 degrees. Sweating our tails off. Now I've got a jacket on, long pants. It's still a little bit chilly. But we've done a lot of work on the saw. We fixed the fast color, maybe. We've cleaned out the one bearing. We got to put a little bit of grease in it. We've certainly made some adjustments, and we're going to cut a little bit of poplar today. We'll cut some shingles actually and see how they cut. So we'll be running the saw quite a bit. We put the 56-inch saw back on it. It's got brand new carbide teeth on it. It's recently been hammered, and let's see how she goes. Thanks so much for watching. All right, you probably can't hear me, but I hope you can. So Doug's our sawyer today, and what we're going to do is we're going to not run the shingle mill in a couple weeks for the open house thing, but we're going to cut little small slabs, 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch, and then we'll cut them down a little saw and make shingles out of them, and then they can stamp them. And my job today is I'm going to be checking these bearings, and let's see how this bad boy runs. So I think we're almost ready to get the show on the road. How cool is that? Let's get rocking and rolling, guys. All right, so Doug's our sawyer today. We got Alan and Matt doing the log rolling. We got Bruce and we've got Pete doing the offloading. And then Gary's out there. You can't see him in the background because he's going to be slicing these guys into little shingles. And these are some logs that Alan, Phil, and I cut down maybe a month ago. They're pretty good sized logs. They're 26-inch diameter. They're red oak. They're nice wood. And these bits on this saw, the 56-inch saw, are brand new. This thing just got hammered. And take a look at how this thing's working. Doug is sawing through these very quickly. It's flying through here. It's cutting exactly as it should. And frankly, this is pretty excited for everybody. So we're just happy to see this thing working. Now the real test is going to be how these bearings are running. And after he cuts a few slices, how does it work out then? So stand by. All right, so this is pretty exciting. This is the 56-inch saw, which was just recently hammered. It has brand new carbide teeth in it. But if you look at this thing is running extraordinarily well. It's straight, it's not wobbling one bit. Now, we haven't cut a lot of boards with it yet, but we'll do that pretty quickly since it's cutting so well. But right now, frankly, this is kind of exciting because it looks like it's on track and it's working as well as it should be. Okay, so what we're doing here is Alan and I and Phil cut down some red oaks about a month ago. We thought we might bring them to the county fair, but we didn't. So I brought them up here. We unloaded them. Alan and I unloaded them last week. And we're cutting little shingle type things, maybe 1/2 inch thick, 3/4 inch thick, so that they can give them away at the fun day coming up in a couple of weeks. So this is working pretty well. They're pretty good sized logs. And I'm going to be checking this temperature on this whole thing just to make sure it keeps staying sort of within bounds. Not exactly sure what the bounds are supposed to be, but let's find out. Okay, so the next cut Doug is doing, he's going to try and make a nice big cant, probably about a 6-inch cant out of this log. And take a look at the saw blade. That's a great indication of how hot things are running, because when a saw gets hot towards the center or the outside of it, then it's going to start to wobble on us. It's not wobbling at all. So optimistically, we're on track. But let's cut a log and then measure some temperatures. So what Doug, Alan, and Matt are doing here are they're rolling this log 90 degrees because we want the flat side of the log as much as possible on the bottom of the head blocks. And if we've got two flat sides, like we do, push the other side up against the knees. And it turns out, since this sawmill is 60 years old, maybe more, maybe less, the knees are kind of worn. They're not straight anymore. But we know the head blocks are pretty straight, since Alan, Phil, and I made new ones this year and installed new ones, and I machined them on the Bridgeport mill. So I know they're pretty straight. So this is helping us make sure we get nice straight boards. Now, the other thing we've done here, which has got to make a huge difference, is the guides, and in this case, they're little maple pieces of wood, which kind of hold the blade where it's supposed to be. It's right on the input side of the log, are only about 30 thousandths of an inch away from the saw blade. And Frick and Jeep said, make them the business card width away. And that's what we did. And I wonder if that's helping some. Probably is. All right, well, Doug's just about finished sawing up a pretty good-sized red oak log. It's 20 some odd inches, maybe 20, 21 inches with our 56-inch blade. The blade seems to be running quite true, and the sawmill is running extraordinarily well. So let me check some temperatures here and see what things look like, because he's, half an hour into this log or 20 minutes into this log, and let's see what things look like. So what I'm seeing here is the saw seems to be running, 69 or 70 degrees. It's basically the outside temperature. The bearings are a little bit warmer, but that's not unexpected. They're not hot though. The last time Phil and I were here doing this, the bearing were close to 135 degrees after maybe 5 minutes of sawing. It didn't take a long time at all. They got very, very hot. And the bearings are running pretty well now. They're 75, 80 degrees maybe, 82 degrees. And they're going to get a little bit warm because they're under a big load. But we've sawed one log and things are running swimmingly well. So we're quite satisfied with this. So that is pretty exciting.
It's good. It's like, so the blade is under 70 degrees. This bearing is 75. That one's about 80 or so. So I'm optimistic right now. And you've cut one log pretty much. And it's big wood. It's red oak. It's hardwood. So it's good. It's nice wood.
But we're taking the bits.
There should be, I bought a brand new one. Hang on.
The shank which holds it. So let me,
Yeah. So the good news is the saw is running swimmingly well. The bearings are running well. They're a little bit warm, 80 degrees, which I think is fine. The saw itself is cold, which is what we want. The bad news is the guys down the other end said there's a nail in this. And I said, that's not a nail, it's a shank. And this is a shank here. So what we did is we had this welded last time when the man hammered it, and I think the weld broke and we lost it. And as Doug pointed out, sadly, we also lost a bunch of
Teeth.
bits. These are teeth that you brush. No, just kidding. But we can fix that. Let me get on with the program and fix that. All right, well, this is kind of cool, I think. We're using this new tool to remove the shanks and bits. Sadly, we had this saw welded recently where the shank holder broke, and that departed the saw. The good news is nobody got hurt, and I noticed it in a piece of wood, or Gary said, there's a nail in here, and I looked at it, it's not a nail, it's a shank. So now Doug's becoming an expert at putting new bits in. In addition to losing one, we took out at least, what did we take out, 10 of them?
Yep, I'm gonna grab that bit.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks for watching another great episode of Wayne's World Garage. I hope this got you excited or put you to sleep or for what reason you watch these videos for. The good news is, I believe we've got the bearing temperatures under control. The 56-inch saw blade is running swimmingly well. It's not getting hot. It's not wobbling. The bearings are running 80, a little low 80 degrees out. It's cool out today, though, but I think we're in good shape as far as that goes. The bad news is the shank, which was repaired, certainly welded just a few months ago, failed. We lost a bit. Luckily, nobody got whacked with that thing in the head, because that would probably, require a Band-Aid or, a lobotomy or something like that. Thanks for watching.